On the bonus show today, we'll be talking about Jimmy Carter, women and religion. Interesting stuff going on with Jimmy Carter there. The Chinese artist has been detained for unspecified economic crimes. We're being told almost nothing. I think we have a good sense of what is actually going on. We'll talk about that. Southern California air pollution. So a lot happening on today's bonus show, davidpakman.com/membership. Our poll that's been up on davidpakman.com for the last week, which possible 2012 GOP candidate is the most outrageous? We had a long list. 1 out of 3 people, 33% saying it's Michelle Bachmann. And just below that, 30% saying Donald Trump. Then Sarah Palin and Newt Gingrich. So some people barely registering. Our audience seems to think Mitt Romney is the least outrageous candidate.
What do you think?
I kind of tend to agree in the sense that when we look at what kind of standing, what possibilities does he have as a viable presidential candidate, Bachmann, Trump, Palin, Newt Gingrich is going to have problems, even though in some ways he seems to be a viable candidate. The affair stuff, flip-flops.
I mean, just from a mental health standpoint, Bachmann's out immediately, right?
Well, I'm no expert on that.
So it would seem.
The new poll. Do you believe reports that Barack Obama made a backroom deal to ensure no public option passes? Log on to davidpakman.com and vote. Voicemails and emails. We haven't been mentioning voicemails, Lewis. People should still call in. 219-2-DAVID-P. Leave us voicemail. We'll play it on the show.
A short, concise voicemail.
Exactly. To quote Bill O'Reilly, you got to keep it pithy. On the topic of reporters going into these gibberish rants, speech in higher mammals such as ourselves is a recent evolutionary development. It can easily go haywire, and all that data zipping through the air may play a small role. This is what Lewis was saying. Wi-Fi and 3G, and I mean, you alluded to the possibility that that is mixing up people's brain signals.
I think it could. We're constantly being bombarded by all sorts of waves. Why not?
All right. What's happening? I'll tell you what's happening. YouTube is. This kind of stuff happens all the time. We can just put a bunch of videos together easily and it spreads quickly. So the argument that we are just, we are just more aware.
It's just more available.
Is more available.
Right.
And then these are textbook cases of Diego Kesterbaum syndrome. I don't even get what that means. I mentioned once on the show that when I need to give a fake name, I use the name Diego Kesterbaum.
I think someone just wanted to use the name.
In an email to us.
Yeah.
All right. On our interview with Jesse Ventura, I don't agree with a lot of what Ventura says, but he's only 1,000 times better than most politicians. A lot of our audience very much into hyperbole, apparently. We need more people like Jesse Ventura. All right. The weirdest conspiracy theory I've heard about 9/11 was that the Mossad used high-tech surface-to-air beam weapons to bring down the tower, developed by the Soviets in the 1970s. Lasers. Okay, well, that's a hell of a theory.
It is the weirdest one I've heard, too.
And on Republican Congressman Sean Duffy complaining about his $174,000 a year salary. Thanks, Lewis, for mentioning the decision to have 6 kids. I'm really tired of the attitude that people who have kids are entitled to special treatment. We shouldn't be subsidizing breeding or home ownership. The benefits of those activities go almost entirely to the parties who engage in them. Another email. I think we should have a law that says Congresspeople have to live on whatever the average salary is in their district. That's opening up a huge can of worms. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think it's interesting. I don't know if I agree with it.
And lastly, his budget is none of my concern. Whether he's in debt or not is his problem. His salary is up for public debate. Is $174,000 too much for a congressman? If you want quality people, you need to pay a quality salary. That's certainly the capitalist argument. Join us on the bonus show. We'll be back in a few days with a new show.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.